Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to today. We're coming together for another pivotal moment in the history of Autonomous and in the evolution of blockchain and decentralized AI. I'm Jim Counter, the head of community at Autonomous Network, and I am beyond thrilled to have you all with us for this next major step on our journey, the Lift-off. Just over a week ago, we launched the Autonomys Mainnet, marking the beginning of the space race with the launchpad phase. And today, in Lift-off, we'll be kicking into the next gear as we set the space race target and enable block authoring for everyone. The momentum we're building today with all of you here will drive Autonomous to become a resilient, decentralized ecosystem powered by our collective effort. The space race isn't just an event, it's a commitment from all of us, a shared mission to create a secure, community-driven and scalable infrastructure. We're here to set a new standard, not only for blockchain, but for a truly autonomous AI foundation where control and innovation remain in the hands of its community. I'd like to give a huge thank you to every one of you tuning in, our developers, farmers, partners and contributors who have been with us on this journey. Today is about realizing a shared vision, one that has taken years of dedication, testing, and a relentless drive for what's possible. As you can see, up on stage with me today are a number of team members. We have Todd, our Autonomous CEO, not running around at an event today for once. We have Randy, our Technical Community Manager. We have Daria, our Head of Protocol. Jeremy, Head of Engineering. Peter, Head of Marketing, and Parth, Head of Partnerships. Note that most of our leadership is here today and nearly all of them are joining us from DevCon in Thailand. As you can see, we're streaming again. You can catch us on YouTube, X and LinkedIn all at the same time as you prefer. Please do feel free to ask any questions you may have in the chat on any of these platforms. They should appear in our streaming software. Though please do share your questions and excitement in English, please. Thank you. Okay. For those of you who might be new to our community or need a quick reminder, don't forget to follow us on our social media channels. You can see them there on the screen. We are at AutonomousNet on X. The Discord link, the Telegram link, and the forum link there. You can grab all those straight off our website, which is at autonomous.xyz. And of course, all of these platforms are a great way to stay informed between these calls we hold. And once again, our X account is positively on fire at the moment with lots of exciting updates. Please do check it out. Today's agenda will take us through the specifics of Lift-off. We'll discuss the current state of the network, the mainnet, of course, set our space race target, activate block authoring, and dive into the technical and community milestones ahead. Plus, we'll have updates from the core Autonomous team, insights into our tokenomics, and some exciting announcements from our partnerships and marketing teams as we grow our network's reach. Finally, we'll have our regular Q&A session at the end. As usual, it's a lot to get through, so let's get into it with a few words from our CEO. Todd, please take it away, Todd.
Thank you, Jim. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say a few words about the project before we get started. Shout out to the team in Thailand where it's approaching midnight. We really appreciate them joining us. And I do lack the British charm in my voice, so I will keep it short and I have to follow Jim, unfortunately. You know, people are drawn to crypto really for three reasons. Some people are here for the technology. Some people are here for the money and some are here for the values. And I can say that this project started based on the values and the technology. In 2018, Jeremiah and Nazar got together. I think they first met in Mexico and decided to build the Subspace protocol. They initially were supported by a grant from the National Science Foundation. And after 3 rounds of fundraising, today we're a global team of 34 people spanning all across the globe. We have a vibrant ambassador community of over 75. We have nodes that have been running on 6 continents, and we're still looking for someone in Antarctica. So if you happen to go there, feel free to spin up a farmer. We'd love to have that. And most of our team is the most talented web developers in the ecosystem, and we're very proud to have them. So after 2 years of incentivized testnets, the Aries and then the Gemini series, we scaled to over 30,000 nodes. And as you all know, over 100,000 reward addresses in our Gemini testnet alone. Our launch is very timely. We see the market is turning. We see Bitcoin, it looks like, is at or 92,000 today. We're in anticipation of a more crypto-friendly administration in the United States, and we're looking forward to some clear regulatory guidance emerging in the future. We are now proudly entrusting the Subspace Foundation in Switzerland to provide the stewardship and guidance for the protocol as we move into this, our next phase. They will be taking over essentially control of the network until we go completely permissionless, which we're looking forward to. And all this is made possible because of you, our loyal community. I want to thank everyone who's been with us from the beginning. Thank everyone who's joined us recently, and welcome anyone who's new and coming on. And we are thrilled to have you. And we look forward to our continued success together. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Todd. Thanks for those words. Yes, everything's looking up, isn't it? I'll let you go, Todd. Because it's time for Randy to give us an update on the state of the network. And once again, I just want to point out that, of course, this is exciting for us because it's Mainnet. It's been so many test nets, Gemini and Taurus, and now Mainnet. So, Randy, do you want to give us a lowdown?
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, I'm just like a little kid, giddy about this whole thing. I'm very excited. I've got my eyes sitting here on all my farmers, waiting to see what's going to happen here. As for the network update, we're off to a pretty good start. We have over 2,000 nodes. The exact number I checked about 10 minutes ago is 2,147. I would normally tell you how much space is pledged, but we don't know this until this next phase, liftoff phase, starts. And we'll be reporting on that regularly. Our latest version is from November 13th, and we've got a bunch of different improvements in there. That would include improved piece cache sync performance and reliability, improved snap sync downloading with more retries, and reduces the bandwidth usage by the node during the sync. And then we've tuned the default plotting parameters primarily to improve the GPU utilization. So this should be a pretty good release. I encourage everybody to stay updated. One side note here is a lot of times people will see that we have a new release available for download. We don't release that as an announcement until we've had a chance to kind of check it out a little bit and update the documentation and everything. So I know some people are excited to jump on it right away, but it might make sense to wait a little bit so we have the announcement. That's all from me. Back to you, Jim.
Thanks for those updates, Randy. Yes, please do wait for release announcements in Discord. That is when we know we're ready. I'll let you go. Thank you, Randy. Okay, so what are we all here for today? What is the liftoff? Let's just talk about it for a minute, what it really means and why today is such a pivotal moment for Autonomys. The liftoff phase is where we as a community move from just infrastructure to active participation. In a few short moments, Daria, put her right on the spot here, will be enabling block authoring on our network. This means that farmers, for the first time, will be able to author blocks on the live mainnet. Up to now, the blocks have been produced by a single Genesis farmer run by the Subspace Foundation. We're literally lifting off into a new phase where your mainnet farmers will start fulfilling their core purpose, validating blocks, building chain history, and progressing towards our ultimate goal of fully decentralized, community-driven AI infrastructure. But this step is more than a technical exercise. It's also an essential part of building security across our network. Launching the mainnet is a tricky business, and we face specific challenges as the network initializes. During this cold start situation, the network could be vulnerable to attacks. That's where the space race comes in. It's designed to establish secure, decentralized consensus across the network before rewards are activated. Remember, the more space being plotted on the network, the stronger our consensus becomes. Farmers, in particular, will play a crucial role here by contributing storage and computational resources to help bootstrap the network during this critical period. Unlike in our testnets, this is a live environment where every action contributes directly to the success and security of the mainnet. So what does Lift-off involve specifically? Now that the seed data has been uploaded, in addition to enabling block authoring for everyone, we'll be setting both an initial and target solution range. What's a solution range? It sets the limits on the solutions our farmers provide to ensure they're valid. It adjusts every 2016 blocks and is also the way we are able to determine the total space pledged to the network. The target solution range will be particularly interesting to everyone as it actually defines the goal we need to reach collectively to activate mainnet rewards, which will happen automatically on chain when the time comes. Daria will be announcing and setting this highly anticipated value very shortly. Once the transactions are executed, this is where your role as a farmer is key. If you haven't started already, now is the time to plot as quickly as possible, maximizing the sectors you have on mainnet early on. By doing so, you'll be among the first to contribute directly to the space race, giving you a strong position to earn rewards from the top of our issuance curve. In other words, having those first sectors plotted means getting in at the beginning where the rewards are most plentiful. In the coming days, we'll all be watching the community plotometers closely as the pledged storage across the network grows, bringing us closer to our space race target and setting the stage for the next exciting step in our journey together. So in summary, Lift-off is where the rubber meets the road. Block authoring will be live, our space race target is set, and each of you has a role in making this a success. Together, we're building something powerful and sustainable, a network that puts control back in the hands of its community. It's an incredible milestone, but also the start of so much more. Thank you for being here with us as we take this next big step forward. And without further ado, let's ask Daria to give us that all-important number and submit the necessary extrinsics on behalf of the Subspace Foundation. How are you doing, Daria? How's Thailand?
It's the DevCon events are exciting. We have met so many people, and so many people are excited and interested about what we're doing. And I am here, as you can see, with the Subspace Foundation merch that I really love. And I'm so emotional after your speech. I just like to bear it. This is so important. I guess I'm way more emotional than I was last week. So after we have had a lot of discussions of what these numbers should be. So for initial space pledge, that's going to be our estimate. This is really a guess. We're going to be asking you to provide what we actually had on Gemini 3H, so that would be 150 petabytes. Now, this number is a guess, so there are two things that can happen now that I'm going to enable farming. Either you all have pledged way more space, and my estimate is very, very low, so we're going to probably see forks and blocks coming very, very quickly, which also means you're probably going to reach the target faster and start actually earning block rewards, which is a good thing. Another thing that can happen is that my estimate is too high and you have guys waited to plot until we actually enable farming, which makes a lot of sense for you to avoid replottings. So if that happens, the blocks are going to be a little slow until you gear up more space, and they are going to speed up until they reach their 6-second target. So I am very worried and very excited to see what happens. I just cannot handle it. So I am going to try to sign this extrinsic now. It is actually a set of 4 things that I need to enable. One of them is just a trigger of enabling authoring by anyone. So that removes the restriction that we have about farming of just a Genesis farmer that has been farming so far, and it was not getting any rewards. Second thing, enables dynamic cost of storage. If you know what it is, just go read our academy. It's the way that we price transactions and gas. It's a very, very nice, very novel algorithm that we have researched. Third thing that we do is enable solution range adjustment. That's the thing that tries to estimate how much space we have on the network based on the quickliness of the block production. So that is what I'm going to set to 150 petabytes. And the very last thing is the one you're probably going to be most excited about is enable rewards. And enable rewards will come automatically when the solution range reaches a certain number that corresponds to the target we set in 600 petabytes. This is 4x of what we had on testnet, and we believe that our community can easily beat that very, very quickly and start actually, earning their long-awaited tokens. So I am going to sign it. Whew, let me not make a mistake. I am not good at talking and doing things.
So I could cover for you for a minute then, Daria. I'm also feeling very emotional. It's quite the thing today, isn't it? It's been so long coming, and it's the culmination of so much work.
It's in block. It is in block.
Okay.
So you should all be starting to farm. My network is just very slow, so I don't know. Maybe you guys are already farming. This Wi-Fi in this Airbnb is just not fast. So my telemetry is not updated. So you tell me if you're actually farming.
Have you paused your farmer, Daria?
No, I have not, but it should be farming just as everybody is. So let's maybe give it a little moment to broadcast to everybody.
So shall we can pause for a minute if you like, and we can come back a little bit later
go.
and check. Oh, that's wonderful. So just to confirm,
you are farming. Yes, there was a block farmed by somebody else who's not a Genesis farmer. It's block 89871. Somebody write this down. 89871 was the block that people have farmed. That is not Genesis farmer. This is so exciting. So if the blocks are a little too slow, you should plot more, and that's going to make them faster.
Okay, amazing. So it's 600. Is that petabytes or pebibytes, Daria?
Petabytes with the powers of 1,000.
Powers of 1,000. Okay, right. Okay, so you've got your target, guys. You've got your block.
And another thing to add is that the conversion of pieces to space is approximate. So you may see in some plotometers that we've hit a 600, but it might be just like a little bit off. So want to apologize for that in advance, because there are conversions between Rust and between mass that I do on paper and the mass that we calculate, and they may be a little bit off. So, oh boy.
Okay, I feel like I can let you go now, Daria. It's very late where you are, isn't it? And yeah, it's been a long day already.
Yeah, but I still have to stay through the whole call. It's not like I can go to sleep or something.
I'm gonna call you up just before the end, just before we hit Q&A, just to get an update to make sure that everything looks good on the protocol side, if that's okay. Okay, wonderful.
So excited.
I'm super excited. I want to get my farm again. I paused it so that my call's not affected. Okay, Daria, thank you very much. Right, okay. Well, I don't really know how I'm going to follow that, guys, but I'm going to try because I want to talk to you about something that I've been working on, because I'm very excited to share this protocol visualization. We've been working on it with our design partners. This is a new way to visualize the whole network in a unified way. It's not completely finished yet, but I am hoping that a swift walkthrough will serve as a quick way for newbie Autonauts to get up to speed on how the protocol hangs together. So I'm not expecting you to be able to read the image on this slide, but I do want you to see the whole show at once, just for context. We're not going to hang around here long, but before we do move on, I want to point out the Autonomous network is an instance of the Subspace protocol. There are several classes of network participant, and this illustration is going to introduce them and explain the dynamics between them. Think of it as a bit of a primer on the network. So first of all, farmers, they are the backbone of our network. They plot farms on what can be modest commodity hardware. They earn tokens for pledging space to the network through their plots. Farmers can have multiple plots of different sizes in their farms. The more space they farm, the greater the rewards they earn. Farmers work together to provide consensus on our network. They are storing the blockchain history in their plots with a replication factor and erasure coding to protect the data. As the storage is useful, it can be used for all sorts of use cases, including data availability and permanent file storage. When we zoom out, we can think of the farmer network as a ring with all the farmers pledging space to the network and using that space to secure our consensus mechanism. The more space pledged overall, the stronger the consensus becomes. The more farmers there are, the greater the decentralization within the network. The farmers sit atop and operate on the networking layer, represented as the disk below the ring in our image. The Subspace protocol supports decoupled execution environments. We call them domains. They are where our second group of network citizens live, operators. Operators provide the compute to domains. They stake their operator nodes and invite nomination from token holders. Operators and their nominators earn transaction fees from the execution work done on the domain. Now, when we bring the two together, something magic happens. The networking layer connects them. The domains are able to benefit from massively decentralized transaction sequencing, consensus, and huge amounts of storage that the farmers are providing. If we take a look inside a domain, we can see that there are a few things going on. The operators are sitting on top of a runtime. The runtime can be tailored for a domain creator's specific use case. Autonomys have produced an EVM-compatible runtime and an auto ID runtime, but it is possible to solve for all sorts of problems with your own, or take an out-of-the-box one if that fits. The operators may be bringing different compute and staking power to the domains, but they all use the networking layer to perform the ballet that ensures consistent, secure execution of user transactions. They use the networking layer to pass messages back and forth to farmers. Execution is secured with non-interactive optimistic fraud proofs. Domains can use cross-domain messaging or XDM to talk to each other and transfer assets between themselves. Creating your own domain is as simple as submitting a transaction. Whether you want your own runtime or a pre-existing one is up to you. There's no limit on the number of domains the network can support, and domain creators immediately benefit from the storage, the decentralization, and the security that the architecture provides. Why incur the overhead of bootstrapping your own ecosystem of participants when you can leverage our dedicated community of node runners who will be only too happy to see you? Okay, I hope that was beneficial. We are currently working on an interesting way to deploy this so we can bring the visualization to more would-be network participants. We also need to add a few more details about nominators and staking, and really I want to turn this into an animation long term, which is all going to happen in due course. But in the meantime, I'd love to hear any feedback you may have. So please comment in the chat or reach out on any of our socials. Thanks very much. And okay, so up next, I'm pleased to hand over to Jeremy. Where are we, Jeremy? Who, among other leadership, is coming, as I mentioned, live and direct from DevCon in Thailand. Jeremy, how are you doing?
Good, great. Well, greetings from Thailand. Very late here. It was super exciting to sit next to Daria while she hit the button. She was sweating a little bit, but everything looks to be good. So, yeah. Well, I'm here, I guess, to give an engineering update. So first, Mainnet launch does not mean the work is done. We still have a lot to do. So things we've been working on and are working on and will be working on. I'll just kind of run through these. Phase 1 launched. Of course, that means that we can put a lot of our focus now towards phase 2 with the launch of decoupled execution. One of the key components that has been being worked on for a couple months now, I saw merged a few days ago, is domain operator snap sync. So I know anybody who's attempted to sync an operator node, it can be a slow and frustrating experience. Now it'll be fast and not frustrating. So, but we're also working on some things around the phase 2 launch, such as optimizations around staking, some performance improvements around EVM and cross-domain messaging. So, Ning and team has been hard at work getting everything all ready, and we'll be prepping for a Stake Wars 2 Part 2 here pretty soon, and ready with decoupled execution. Also, work is going to be beginning very quickly on our scalability roadmap. So research team is still hard at work kind of defining what our long-term full data sharding model is going to look like. I've been talking to Chen and Daria about that while we've been here in Thailand. But in the meantime, there's also going to be some incremental steps towards scalability with what we're calling data domains. So much more to come on that in the near future. Work should begin on that very soon. Finally, on the product side, what you've been seeing, if you've been watching the dev syncs and following along in the repos, we've been working hard on the data access layer, primarily on AutoDrive. That you've been, we have some early demos out of that, but we should have an AutoDrive available for early testing very, very soon. And AutoDrive, of course, allows you to put data onto the network and retrieve it as well. Once we get to the kind of initial testing of AutoDrive, we're going to be improving the caching layer above AutoDrive so that you can have a very robust, fast upload and retrieval via this. So finally, work is also beginning on a lot of proofs of concept around AI agents. I've had Saeed and myself have been working on that. So, be watching our GitHub and be watching socials, I think, for some demos that will be coming out over the next week or two on the work we've been doing there. I think that's it, Jim. Well, it's not it, but that's all I'm going to talk about tonight. So.
Again, it's very late.
Watch these blocks go. I want to see the first solution range adjustment. So I may stay up all night here.
Okay. Right. It's an exciting time for the whole team, isn't it? Yeah, I'm keen to check out what's going on the network. Thank you for that comprehensive roundup of everything engineering. Thank you, Jeremy. Okay, guys. So here we go. The moment many of you have been waiting for is here. Let's take a look at the mainnet tokenomics for the autonomous network. I can see the hunger from the crowd in the chat, tokenomics over and over again, and questions about why my node's not running. I will point out that you'll probably get better support in Discord or Telegram, but let's get into it. Tokenomics. So first of all, please note that this information is presented on behalf of the Subspace Foundation and will be available on their website at some point after the call. You can find the foundation website at subspace.foundation. Couldn't be easier. The Subspace Foundation, headquartered in Zug, Switzerland, has deployed the Autonomous Network, an implementation of the cutting-edge Subspace protocol. The token paper these charts are from outlines the supply, allocation, and distribution of the Autonomous Network's native AI3 token. Okay, so moving on to AI3 supply and allocation. The total fixed supply of Autonomous native token, AI3, is 1 billion. That's 1 with 9 zeros. This supply will be allocated across multiple categories that we'll touch on in a minute. 65% of the supply, or 650 million, was minted at Mainnet Phase 1 with the launch of the consensus chain. Token transferability is disabled at the protocol level until the token generation event, or TGE, which will be marked by the launch of Mainnet Phase 2. While testnet rewards are not subject to a lockup period, tokens allocated to stakeholders are subject to strict vesting schedules. The remaining 35%, or 350 million, will be minted as block rewards over an approximately 40-year period. This structure ensures controlled circulation while maintaining long-term ecosystem sustainability through the gradual issuance of farming rewards. The 1 billion token supply are allocated across the categories in the chart that you can see on the slide. I'm just going to leave that up for a minute so everyone can get a good look at it. Hopefully it's coming out for you. You can see the numbers. You're going to see them blown up in a minute, so don't panic, because we're going to take some time to drill into each one. But I'd like to quickly explain in that chart, the pie on the right is a breakdown of the community section in the pie on the left. So the chart on the right is an explosion of the blue segment on the right. Sorry, on the left chart. Again, this chart will be available on the Subspace Foundation website, so you will have a chance to peruse at your leisure after the call. Okay, so next, let's see how AI3 distribution breaks down. So first up, investors, they have 21.53% allocated. Investor tokens are released according to a 48-month lockup schedule with a 12-month cliff starting at Mainnet Phase 2 and monthly releases thereafter. At the end of the 12-month cliff, 25% of the tokens are unlocked. The remaining 75% are released linearly over the subsequent 36 months at a rate of 1/36 per month from months 13 through 48. I think you're going to get tired of me saying this, but we're going to be purposefully verbose in this segment. Okay, next, team, 9.49% allocated. Team tokens are released according to a 48-month lockup schedule with a 12-month cliff and monthly releases thereafter. At the end of the 12-month cliff, 25% of the tokens are unlocked. The remaining 75% are released linearly over the subsequent 36 months at a rate of 1/36 per month from months 13 through 48. And that breaks down even further into founders at 2%, advisors at 2.35%, and staff at 5.14%. Okay, next, autonomous labs, 9%. So this is that 9% is split into two pots. First of all, the DevCo Treasury, which is 7%. The majority of the DevCo tokens are released according to a 48-month lockup schedule with a 12-month cliff and monthly releases thereafter. At the end of the 12-month cliff, 25% of the tokens are unlocked. The remaining 75% are released linearly over the subsequent 36 months at a rate of 1/36 per month from months 13 through 48. And then the second pot you can see there, the 2% market liquidity. A portion of the DevCo tokens will be unlocked at TGE for liquidity provisioning and operating activities, including market making and exchanges. Okay. Partners, 1.43%. Partner tokens paid as remuneration for vendor services are released according to a 48-month lockup schedule with a 12-month cliff and monthly releases thereafter. At the end of the 12-month cliff, 25% of the tokens are unlocked. The remaining 75% are released linearly over the subsequent 36 months at a rate of 1/36 per month from months 13 through 48. Community. Okay, so we've got, this is a blown up version of the right-hand pie chart from earlier. As you can see, the figure on the far left there, 58.55%, that is, the call out there is showing you that the whole pie is 58.55% of token supply. And as you can see, we've broken it down into subcategories that we're going to take a closer look at next. Okay, so first of all, The first amount, Subspace Foundation is allocated 15.68%. Of that, operations is 0.68% is allocated to operations. That's liquid for Subspace Foundation operating expenses. Then there is the near-term treasury, which has 5% of token supply. The lockups there are to be determined as tokens are deployed for ecosystem bootstrapping. Then there's 10% allocated to the long-term treasury, which has a 4-year lockup with a 1-year cliff for community provisions, grants, and ecosystem development. The token release schedule for the Subspace Foundation's long-term treasury follows a 48-month lockup schedule with a 12-month cliff and monthly releases thereafter. At the end of the 12-month cliff, 25% of the tokens are unlocked. The remaining 75% are released linearly over the subsequent 36 months at a rate of 1/36 per month from months 13 through 48. Ambassadors, our wonderful global ambassador program. Ambassadors have 1% allocated. The vesting schedule for ambassadors varies according to their start date and position held in the program. You can actually dig into the details there. It's all public. It's available on the ambassador website if you want to take a closer look there. Testnets, excellent. Okay, so still in the community pool, of course, here. Testnets and stake wars, 6.87%. Testnet rewards were minted at Mainnet Phase 1 and are not subject to vesting or lockup schedules. They break down as 5.97% for testnet rewards, a very long, very generous testnet, of course. Stake Wars 1. 0.6% and Stake Wars 2 at 0.3%. Okay, farmer rewards. I know I've seen this question earlier in the chat. Farmer rewards, 35%. The Subspace Foundation partnered with Block Science to develop a novel dynamic issuance model that will mint farmer rewards over the duration of the blockchain's 40-year life cycle. The full research repository is available on their GitHub, which is github.com/blockscience/subspace. It's worth a look, actually, if you like this sort of thing, as they built a digital twin of the Subspace protocol to model many, many parameters and how the network would behave under all manner of conditions. There's also a video of our parameter selection workshop, which you can find on YouTube if you search for Subspace X Block Science. I'll try and add the link to this video description later. Okay, and here we can see that farmer issuance curve, which I'd like us to take a look at for a moment, as the top left there is what we'll be experiencing as our farmer community break through the space race target. The automatic activation of rewards at the top of the curve is what we are all here on the call for today, of course. We hope that explains the fundamentals of our supply, allocation, and unlocks. If you do have any questions, please let us know. Thank you. And next up, we have Peter. I know Peter's had some infrastructure issues himself, who's going to be giving us a rundown on all the exciting things happening in marketing. Oh, hey, Peter, I see you. I see you there, Peter. How are you doing?
Hey, doing very well, Jim. Thank you so much. Thank you for that intro, and thank you for setting up this amazing community touch point. I think it's a long time coming, and I think I can speak for us all when I say that we're very excited to kind of start this next journey and have the community that's been involved since day one a part of us with us here today. So thank you guys very much. I did want to say something that Jeremy mentioned just a little bit earlier, and he mentioned, now that we're finally kicking this off, the work doesn't end, right? This is when it really starts. This is when things pick up, and I really want to echo that sentiment, because I believe that all of the work that has gone within this project to date has led us to this point. And the next milestone that we are hoping to achieve, and we will be achieving in the next couple of months, is that of TGE. In my strong belief, that is when the actual race begins, right? That's when we're actually in the game. That's when the pace picks up substantially. That's when innovation happens, right? That's when we're amongst all of our different competitors. That's when the foundation starts, rolling out different innovative techniques to stay in the market. That's when we're rolling out different, types of ecosystem grants to bootstrap the AI 3.0 ecosystem. That's when the developer onboarding happens. That's when the community onboarding happens. That's when we start focusing on, making UX and UI improvements to make sure that everyone that is joining the Autonomys ecosystem has a seamless user experience, and that's what we are working towards next. So for on the marketing side, what I can say is that as some of you know, I came on board about 3 months ago, and I do believe that we've accomplished quite a lot in that short amount of time. We have really only started, let's call it, content marketing since the beginning of October. As you guys remember, that was when we initiated our first, the latest rebrand into what you see now on the current website and the following iterations that have come afterwards. And as we start moving closer towards TGE, one of the things that we will be looking into is, how do we start incorporating more of the ecosystem? The incredible partners that Parth, who will be speaking next, has done such a great job in terms of incorporating them into the ecosystem. And not just, I'm not talking about just marketing announcements, PR, things like that, but how do we actually cross collaborate? How do we actually bring those users into our ecosystem? So what you can expect in the next couple of months is very strategic ecosystem, cross-community, cross-pollination collaborations, right? How do we get these users into our network? This is something that we're working on very, very stringently behind the scenes. You guys may have noticed as well that in the past, let's call it month or two, we have gained quite a bit of traction across, different socials and of course, within PRs as well, right? So that has been a big part of our strategy, is how do we kind of bootstrap the name of Autonomys? How do we kind of get into the global narrative that's kind of happening right now in terms of AI, in terms of, deepen? And I believe we've done a pretty good job, and it's only the beginning. We've had incredible placements from, different members of the team, different leadership people in terms of some of the media verticals, such as, Decrypt, The Street, Cointelegraph, and this is going to continue. And I'm actually, pretty excited as well to kind of unveil to you guys that one of the things that we will be focusing on in the next couple of months is actually to grow the farmer community. And one of the strategies that we will be deploying is that of actually geographical strategic, PR placements. And one of those regions is the APAC region. We believe that, based on the different metrics that we see on telemetry, that this is one of our biggest communities. And we shouldn't, we should focus on this because that's where a large part of our community is. So we have onboarded a very strong APAC PR team that we will be working with very closely over the next couple of months, over the next 12 months, over the next coming years to really build that community. So in the next couple of months, you guys can expect, kind of just the marketing machine to just keep going. It's not going to stop here. In fact, it's going to get stronger every day as we go. And one of the things that we will continue to share with you is more transparency in terms of what we're doing. So with that being said, I'll bring it back to Jim.
Thanks, Peter. Yeah, it couldn't really be a more exciting time for us, of course. I'm really looking forward as well to seeing all that activity. I think you're doing a wonderful job, Peter, dragging us out into the light. So thank you very much. Okay, we could have really set that up better. Okay, I'm going to bring Parth up on the stage next, who is going to give us an update on partnerships. How are you doing, Parth? You're also at DevCon, aren't you?
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, Jim, it's really exciting here, and any farmers who are at DevCon, please feel free to connect. We have the events list, which is out on the Twitter. Feel free to fill the Luma forms, and I'm sure that we'll have a great time if we connect in person. So essentially, my goal here is we have talked a lot about how much storage we are getting, but my job here is how to put that storage to use. And I can tell you at the back end, there have been from different projects in the space of decentralized storage, data retrieval speeds and throughputs have been a huge challenge. And if you see our partner announcements, it's largely been focused on the DAI space. And the reason is that a product team has been it's been working hard to provide the efficient and high throughput data retrieval for the AI use cases. The reason is the AI market is estimated to be $7 billion by $7 trillion, sorry, by 2030. And I'm sure there's a lot of value that's going to flow into the projects. And that value will percolate to the farmers, that is you as well. So my goal here is to take this storage that you are providing to the AI companies, to the DAI projects, and build much more relevant utility for this particular storage. So yeah, looking forward to great projects building and more farmers joining. Over to you, Jim.
Thanks, Parth. Yeah, it's kind of like we're all meshing together, aren't we? And going towards that goal. It's a really great time for the project. Thank you, Parth. Okay, right. I'm going to do a network check-in. Daria, I'm just going to bring you back up on stage. I don't want to surprise you. I can see you've been talking in the chat, so I can see that we've had some questions. I mean, I did kind of say this at the start about, I see you reiterated, it's every 2016 blocks. That's when the solution range adjustment goes through. That's correct, is it?
Yeah, so based on the block that we have right now, which is 89,942, then the next block adjustment is going to be the block 90,720. And it goes every 2016 blocks from then forever until the chain exists. That is where the solution range estimate adjusts itself based on how many blocks were actually produced in the given time frame. So the number that you may see right now on Astral about the space plage is the estimate that I have placed in the beginning of the call, as I have said. So that is 150 petabytes or 139 baby bytes. We will see that number adjust up and down depending on how many people are online, how many disks they have uploaded, how many things they have reuploaded, and it's just going to stabilize with time, hopefully within a day. So please, everybody, be patient, support us, plot, and whatever the amazing thing that you say, Jim, keep farming, keep questioning. We're always gonna answer.
Yeah, don't steal my phrase, my catchphrase, Daria. So I can see the questions coming in. Yeah, so the lift-off. I mean, we've produced quite a lot of documentation about how the whole space race works, and yeah, what we've done today is we've kind of kicked off the phase where it's this space race, guys. Okay, I can see some questions about, are rewards activated? No, but the activation of rewards are now in your hands, guys. And just to kind of put into context Daria's numbers there, so I can see on my node that we're at 89,947. So we are, what, 800 blocks from the next solution range adjustment, at which point all those questions I can see in the chat about why is Astral not showing the storage, that's because we haven't had an adjustment come through yet. And I think it's actually going to take a few to get really accurate as well. At 6-second blocks, and I did my numbers earlier, at 6-second blocks, guys, the solution range adjustment happens every 3.32 hours. So every 3 and a bit hours. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
and
I just wanted to add a little thing. If you have been following all of our announcements and you've been for a while and you've been Gemini 3H and you have read actually our blogs, the space race, is a race and it's a target for the security of our system so that no single actor can have the amount of storage to be able to produce more blocks than everybody else. So it is very important to set a high target so that we make sure that we don't have any, like the 51% attacks and all of this. You know, they do happen in this space, and we want to avoid that for the better of everybody. So, you know, be patient. It may take days, it may take a week, it may take more, you know. It depends on how much storage you pledge. But we do not want to make sacrifices on our security.
Absolutely. It's one of the cornerstones of the network is the security, along with decentralization, of course, and scalability, just to get everything in there. But yeah, absolutely, we do not compromise. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, this is the way that we are going to overcome the cold start problem at the start of the network. Okay, guys, I think we're going to do some Q&A, but before I do, I've seen some questions in the chat, so I know that people are interested to know what the POAP word is. Prove that you were here. You were here at the liftoff of the Autonomous network. Okay, that's gone through, guys. So the first message is the instructions on what you need to do. Grab the POAP home app and then use the secret word there. You click on secret word as it says in the instructions. Okay, so hopefully that's going to buy me a little bit of time because we're going to do some Q&A. Daria, feel free to jump in on any if you want. I'm going to scroll upwards. We've got Emil in the background, who has been very kindly marking questions for me. Okay, Dimitri, do you have to wait for 600 petabytes before the rewards start falling? Absolutely. That is the target set for the space race. That's the whole point of the space race, which is the way we've launched the network. This is all going to happen on chain. We cannot stop it. It's a permissionless, decentralized network. It's over to the community of farmers to smash that target and activate mainnet rewards. Thanks for the question, Dimitri. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, is the block currently being issued with no reward for the time being, or no reward at all? Yeah, so there's no reward, no reward until we reach the space race target. Thanks for the
Yeah,
question.
this is the whole goal of the space race, you know, to help us bootstrap our security. And when you do, our dear farmers, help us bootstrap the security, you're going to get the block rewards.
Absolutely, and following up on that, so I'm not sure, we haven't had a solution range adjustment. I'm not sure where 140p comes from. So are we sure that we can reach 600 petabytes soon? It's only 140p now. I'm not sure where you get the second figure from, but yes, we have every faith in our community. Absolutely. This is mainnet, guys. If you were holding back on testnet, now is the time. So yeah, we absolutely do believe.
I think 140 number comes because of the conversion between petabytes and pebibytes, the powers of 2 and the powers of 1,000. So if you actually go on our Austral, it's in pebibytes, which is around 140.
Okay, so let me just load up. Okay, right. Okay, right. I didn't actually catch that. So we're 140. So we peaked at 150 on Gemini, didn't we? So guys, like obviously, like there's a lot of people plotting hard out there, which is wonderful
Yeah,
to see.
we know we have all the storage in our community. If we had that on testnet and people were absolutely not plotting all they had on testnet, and we know that for sure. We you know, you guys are always in the community on Discord. Jim, Randy, Emil, all of you. I read things. Nazar is always there, so we know you have it.
And I think to put that into context as well, we've reached that number while we've been seeding data, which we know has caused all sorts of disruption to the network. We've seen quite a few kind of unwitting souls coming to Discord. Why am I replotting? Why am I downloading so much data? You know, we described the launchpad phase, which we end today with the liftoff phase, as a bumpy ride, and it proved to be. We were aggressively seeding data onto the network. It was triggering lots of replots. It was causing people consternation with their caches, of course, because as we add data, your cache needs to be updated. And of course, the network was growing very quickly and very hard. And I think we over 2,000 nodes now. We'll check the stats in a minute. Yeah, so yeah, it's going as
2,117, which is like 500 more than it was yesterday. So I think that's impressive.
Okay. Yeah, we've been having a discussion about the guys who are still on 3E and 3F. Guys, if you're still running 3E and 3F, jump over. It's mainnet time. Come on, wake up. Okay. Okay, so NEOAC, who knows how many EPs there are on the main network now? Well, if you go to Astral, which I'm going to drop in the chat here, you can see it's the total space pledged statistic. Thanks for the question, Neok. Okay, any more questions? Okay, if you do have a question, pop it in the chat because I'll scroll back down to the bottom in a minute. Solitude, it was you. When tokenomics? Okay, you were very eager, weren't you? Yeah, so we've done tokenomics. Hopefully all your questions have been answered, but if not, do let us know. Thank you for the question. Okay, I think actually I've made it all the way back to the start.
I love the comments of Hate Hardware, who's saying he's going to single-handedly pledge our space race target.
Oh, well, big
yeah,
talk.
That's
big talk,
yeah,
Alex.
that's we very appreciate that, but everybody also has to pledge, otherwise it's not secure. If we just have Hate Hardware pledge over space, he's probably going to be happy.
Okay, I mean, Alex, if you want to single-handedly smash the target, we'll get you some merch. Let's say that. You'll have to prove it first, though.
Some special one.
Something special. Okay, guys. Okay. So some questions. What is the average space per farmer? By mid. Let's pop that up there so we can see the question. Yeah. So we can't actually tell how much space is being farmed by our farmers. It doesn't work that way. I guess you could kind of eyeball it by going by node count divided by total space pledged, but that's not strictly accurate, of course, because you could have one node and a cluster with a huge number of farms behind it. So yeah, we don't know, Mid, but you can kind of rough guess it, I guess, there.
Yeah, the distribution is very uneven. We have a lot of very small farmers. We have a lot of big farmers. We have everything in the middle. So the average doesn't really make sense.
That's oh no, hang on. Sorry, the questions are coming too quick. Okay, so that actually leads, I guess, into Peter's question here. What's the role of more casual farmers versus industrial scale ones? So they're both, valuable to the network, Peter. Smaller farmers help us with decentralization, of course. And we have if you want to check out the Autonomous Academy, you can read up on blocks and vote rewards, which is a way that we make sure that there's a fairer distribution of rewards. So and then at the other end of the scale, obviously industrial, I guess what you mean is people with lots of storage. And again, they're super valuable as well because they're bringing the storage that strengthens consensus. So yeah, they're both as important to us. Thanks for the question, Peter. Okay, I'm going to take this once, guys. Victoria, please, how do you take the NFTs? I think you mean the POAP, and if you look up a few questions, Victoria, you'll see there's some instructions there. Okay, Zoe, when Stake War 2? Okay, so Stake War 2, we haven't set a date yet. We want to make sure that Stake Wars 2 is it allows us to achieve our goals of testing domains and staking and execution thoroughly. But yeah, please do stay tuned to our announcements to hear about Stake Wars 2. Dimitri, if after 1 or 2 months we don't reach 600 petabytes, what's going to happen? Well, I don't think we're going to be waiting. I'm not entirely sure. Is there an answer to that at the moment, Daria? Or are we going to have to
We'll
have
have
a discussion?
to top up our activity in the space and get it.
Okay.
Like we're
Right.
not going to accept any less, I guess.
Okay, thanks for the question, Dimitri. Okay, right. I am not seeing any more. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So Zoe's just come in with a late question. Are there any hackathons? I'm not sure what RU is, but yeah, so keep your eyes open for Hacker Month 2, which we are planning to announce very soon. We're going to be hopefully standing up our domains, our execution environments on Taurus pretty soon, which will give us somewhere to hold Hacker Month 2. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, Zoe. Thanks for the question. So would setting a lower target attract more farmers? I don't see that. Maybe you can explain how setting a lower target would attract more farmers. Okay. I mean, Thomas, okay, so I can see some questions. Are we concerned a lot of farmers will shut down their system? You know, it's entirely up to you, Thomas. Entirely up to you, obviously, if you've got a bunch of plotted data sitting there. Right, Julie, so reward starts when we reach 600 petabytes? Yes. Okay. All right, guys, I can see we don't have any more questions that we haven't already answered. So I think what we'll do is we'll let Daria go. Thank you, Daria, for helping me out with the questions. Appreciate it.
Always happy to be here.
Thank you. Okay, and I think what we can do is, oh, I missed out a slide. Of course I did. Okay, so today, everyone, we took another enormous step towards, forward in the journey of Autonomous. We've gone beyond theory on paper, beyond test nets, and we've set our mainnet into motion with the start of the space race proper. This is a leap into decentralized infrastructure and the realization of a vision that we all share. It's your contributions, your belief in this vision, and your dedication that have brought us to this pivotal moment. But let's remember, the liftoff is only the beginning. The real adventure lies ahead of us as we work collaboratively towards escape velocity, where we'll activate mainnet rewards and the consensus network will be fully launched. Each of you plays a crucial role in this, helping to reach our storage target and secure the network for the decentralized future we're building. And as we approach escape velocity, we will be deploying a series of challenges designed to make this journey fun and engaging for our community. Announcements will be forthcoming, but we will aim to make the build up to breaking through the space race target as exciting as possible with a number of initiatives led by the community team. Hopefully our farmers will give us a chance to see escape velocity coming this time after they shot through it on the mini space race and caught us on the hop. Keep an eye on the announcements channel in Discord and on the forum where we'll be delivering the lowdown on how to take part. And of course, there will be prizes up for grabs. For anyone who will be joining us in our remaining time at DevCon 7 in Thailand, we can't wait to celebrate with you in person and share more about what's to come. And for those tuning in from around the globe, thank you for being part of this historic journey. We'll continue to carry this momentum over to Discord, where our team will be on hand to answer questions, support your next steps, and keep the energy high as we move closer to our goals. Finally, to our entire community, whether you've been with us since the test nets or just joined recently, thank you. Thank you for your trust, your passion, and your drive to make Autonomous what it is. Together, we're creating a future where technology empowers us all, where autonomy and innovation are within everyone's reach. Stay tuned to our socials, especially X and Discord, as we share each step of our journey and invite others to join. We're thrilled to be taking this journey with you. We look forward to seeing you at our next event. And until then, as always, keep farming, keep questioning, and as always, stay connected. Thanks, everyone.